Good evening, everyone. Today is February 8th, 2021. It's about 11:15 p.m. And right now we're leaving Waikea Shopping Center where I work and heading over towards Waikea Elementary School, which is the neighborhood that I live in. It's, I don't know, what really strikes me at this moment, just leaving work at 11 is, you know what, you know what, there's a difference between here and where the town that I left. The town that I left was only half the population of Hilo. Hilo is like 43,000 people. The town that I left in Cartersville, Georgia, is maybe is about 23,000 people. And you know, I have about maybe the same kind of shifts. Like I leave around the same time of day, like late, you know, like 11 p.m. And in Cartersville, it definitely feels desolate. Here, it feels like, I mean, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of cars still parked. You know, like there's someone playing music right here. There's still some activity going on at this time of day, and so it doesn't feel quite as small, quite as small of a town. The supermarket that KTA, the local Japanese supermarket that I wish were opened, it had been staying open until midnight for quite some time, for weeks, like the whole time that I've been here. And then recently, for some reason, I don't know if it was after New Year's or what, it started closing at 11 p.m. And that supermarket was kind of a go-to whenever I finished late shifts. I could like go and grab, I don't know, maybe like a little bento box or some random snacks or like food for the next day or what have you. Even if I left here at 11 o'clock, so it did make a little bit of a difference. In any case, it does still feel a little bit quiet. I think one of the things that I do wonder about living on Oahu versus living on Hawaii is the DDR community. I play Dance Dance Revolution casually, but I used to play it like hardcore when I was younger. And there's always kind of like a little community of like game freaks and like music rhythm game players that play regularly, if not all the time. And here thankfully, they only just recently got the most recent version of the DDR arcade cabinet, which is what arcade machines are called, and I've actually run into maybe one other player that was someone that was formerly a hardcore player. I actually ran into one person so far, but other than that, I haven't run into anyone. And my understanding is that on Oahu, there actually is a little community. There's a bunch of players, and there's a bunch of different places to play. Here, I think on this island altogether, there might be 2 machines. There's one brand new one, which is the one that thankfully happens to be in this shopping center. It happens to be in Waikea Shopping Center, and has all the newest songs, all the newest gaming content, and then and then what else do you have? And then, according to my research, I believe there are at least one or two other older machines located maybe inside malls or something like that. I think there might be a Supernova, DDR Supernova machine, which I guess for those of you who are familiar with the game, you should know that Supernova was not... Well, I personally didn't find it that impressive, but I'm not a particularly good player, though. I mean, I can play really well compared to someone who doesn't play or who never played, but I don't know. It's kind of like Yamcha in Dragon Ball Z. He's a fighter that is above above normal human beings, but he's still nowhere near as good as Krillin, the very weakest character who still goes out and fights bosses in Dragon Ball Z and gets killed every time by the big bosses. Yamcha is still nowhere near as good as Krillin, but he's still way better than an average person, an average. In any case, let's see. Okay, so it's Monday night. It's February 8th. Oh my gosh. All right. So, you know what? My people back on the East Coast, you've just got a few more weeks before, things start to, kind of, maybe, possibly warm up or begin to warm up, Oh shoot. Oh, I might not want to be I might not. Oh boy. Oh man, I don't think I want to be around for this. Alright, let me try to walk around. Alright, let's see. Here we go. Hawaii 5-0. Alright, I'm gonna pause it. Alright, oh yeah, so yeah, if you're on the East Coast, you've got just maybe like, you know, like 3 or 4 more weeks until your very last snowstorm, like really bad snowstorm. And then realistically, you probably still got about 7 weeks to go. 7 weeks to go before you're completely out of it. But you know what? That's not bad. That's pretty quick. Oh, well, okay. Okay. Alright, it's already been cold. It's already been cold for like weeks. If you're in the Northeast, but you know, the brunt of it should take place just over the next 3 weeks. And then you know, I know how it is. Like once March hits, it's just like finally, like you can start being hopeful, you know, about spring being around the corner. So that is not too bad. It's really something. Kind of living someplace for a change that doesn't really have seasons. I feel like Georgia has you know what, I guess Georgia has all 4 seasons, but I feel like I think they're just warmer in general, warmer versions. And New York has colder versions, but it's really something. And then places like Arizona, you know, like they've got like right now, it's probably comfortable in Arizona. It's probably like in the 70s and stuff, which is crazy. That's got to be amazing. It's probably in the 70s, 80s. So Arizona has like comfortable and then ridiculous, just like oven, you know, like we're talking like brick oven level heat. But I won't speak too soon, you know, like we'll see just how uncomfortable it is once the real summer rolls around here. But my understanding is that summer here is only a 5-degree difference from the winter. So it'll be like highs of 85 degrees instead of highs of 80 degrees. So because of that, you know, I'll say this is kind of like, you know, just my first time like not being made conscious that it's February. That's what I'll say. You know, like normally it's just like, oh, February. Like you feel it every single day. But it's definitely a little bit weird, like having to think about the fact that it's February rather than like feel it. Off of how slowly the molecules in the air are moving every day. I remember I had a friend though, I still have a friend who like really enjoys the cold and winter weather, and one time she described it to me as being invigorating. And you know, once she put it in that way, versus the heat, which is kind of stifling. You know, like if it's too hot, like it can just be oppressive, and you know, and just really stifling. But when it's really cold, you know, it kind of forces you to have to like bundle up and walk briskly, and like get to where you're going, and like it kind of forces the person to speed up a little bit. And I actually agree with that. Once she put it in those terms, I kind of began thinking about it in those terms. And the next time that I was someplace really cold, like I was able to enjoy the fact that it was cold for those reasons. But yeah, it was supposed to be like minus 40 degrees in some parts of the country today, so as far as it being minus 40, I mean that's a whole different ball game. But as far as it being like 16 degrees out and stuff, you know, like it is something to be enjoyed. Like you know, like it doesn't happen all the time. Like you don't get to like experience it all the time. And so I don't know, you can kind of go out and just like venture through it. That's what I'll say. Like it's something that you can kind of venture through. So okay. Let me see. Okay, so I'm about halfway home. We got frogs going. I finally have a day off tomorrow. I'm still kind of like finagling my time around so that I can sort of get like an appropriate balance between my time spent working and my time spent just kind of like enjoying things. Thankfully, there are like $200 and $300 and $400 living arrangements that are kind of abundant on the Big Island, and so that's really what I'm looking for right now. I feel like I definitely would benefit more from having more free time in this particular season. And less work. And it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible with the kind of low rents out here and like other living arrangements, you know, like being able to work on someone's farm and like live in their guest house for free and stuff like that. There's all kinds of kind of small town living arrangements out here. Even though I would be kind of very reluctant to take on that kind of living arrangement, you know, like take care of my horses every day and you can just stay here. I'd be very reluctant to take on a living arrangement like that without having at least some actual job that's paying you in real money, rather than just exchanging work for housing. Mainly because it's like the people providing your housing if you work for them, then I mean they don't exactly own you, but they kind of own you. Like it's like what is it called? Conflict of interest. It's like any kind of disagreement you get into with someone like that. You know, they can just like put you out of the house, you know? And so I wouldn't necessarily like throw all my eggs in one basket in an arrangement like that at my age. But it is cool that they're around. You know, before moving here, I just did research on like across a bunch of the islands to see which ones would be like the most accommodating. And of course the main island, Oahu, just has so much more in terms of like corporate opportunities and like opportunities for like highly skilled or technical labor, or like labor for people who are like highly skilled or have like credentials or degrees. There's more of an infrastructure there. There's 1 million people living there, and there's all kinds of like really good paying work there. But everything's way more expensive. Like approaching $2,000 a month to rent a 1-bedroom apartment. So it's just like, even if you're able to find a job, even if you're able to find job prospects where the salary matches, those kinds of rental costs. If you don't already have a good deal of money saved up, maybe like $10,000 before you go, then you might find yourself in a sticky situation. If you were to just move there, whereas here there really aren't so many. There's some like opportunity and like availability for like highly skilled and like technical labor, but not that much. Most of the opportunity here is like blue collar stuff, but there's so much of it. It's so abundant. Like the amount of availability to be able to do like kind of basic or like unskilled labor, and the housing. It's not the cheapest, but there are many very affordable options out here, and so that combination kind of makes up. I feel like kind of makes it a good one in terms of moving here without much like saved up or anything like that. And then in the meantime, you can kind of like work and save, and then try to scope out prospects on the other islands. Kauai is kind of like that too. A lot of blue collar work, but the housing arrangements are more expensive than here. And I think it's the same on Maui. Like the housing arrangements are more expensive than on the Big Island. Even though they're still really all throughout the islands, there's still opportunities where you can like arrange to live someplace off of like working for someone. So you can kind of finagle it if you need to. In any case, this is where I'm wrapping up for tonight. Check in with everyone tomorrow. Aloha.